Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Fat Cat Collections. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about a brand that goes by the name of Stuhrling Original. Now, Stuhrling is a brand that I remember when I first started getting involved in, discovering the Invicta brand. I definitely had my eye on a lot of Stuhrling watches over the years. If you're in the market for affordable, skeletonized watches, I think Stuhrling is kind of like your go-to. There's a lot of different brands out there. Invicta makes a ton of kind of skeletonized dress watches as well, but a few of the Stuhrlings really rang out at me, and I have some in my collection. I'm going to share with you guys today 7 of them, and these are the 7 that I held on to because these are the ones that I really like the most. Naturally, I mean, obviously anybody who's collecting watches, you want to have watches you like, right? Some of the Stuhrling watches that I received from Stuhrling, and full disclosure, of course, these watches were all sponsored by Stuhrling. They were super generous in sending me, my God, I don't remember how many they sent me. A bunch of Alexander watches, a bunch of the Stuhrling watches, and they basically allowed me to pick out whatever I wanted, which was pretty cool. And then they sent a few other editions. And when they did that, I did a lot of these reviews, but it was, I mean, we're going back quite some time. And you guys know with all the different products that I'm always getting shipped to me, going back to Invictas, which are super popular, Stuhrling watches are awfully popular as well. People are looking for them. And I want to just do some updated videos, let you guys kind of see how they've held up, see if I have any complaints, and just, you know, give you guys more information. So, these aren't going to be really in any order, and I apologize if I screw up one of the names. I'm trying to go off memory here without doing a lot of research, and I have my internet browser open so I can just kind of look at things real quick. All these watches are reviewed on my channel, so if you see something that you like and you want to maybe see me review it from like the very beginning, maybe get a different perspective on it, an earlier perspective, by all means just go to Fat Cat on YouTube, and if you just search Fat Cat and Stuhrling, you'll pull up my playlist, and you'll probably just pull up all the videos I've done on Stuhrling watches. And there's other ones too, some of which, again, if I have a watch, whether it's sponsored or not, whether I buy it or not, and I just don't wear it very much because I've gotten other things in my collection that get more wrist time, you know, I end up selling them on eBay. So there's been a few that I've sold that you know, if you find ones that are on the YouTube playlist that aren't in this video, it's because I've unloaded those. You know, I just there's no point to me. There's no point holding onto a watch that you're just not going to wear. You know, and I got 160. So you guys get it. You guys are Invicta collectors, right? So let me just start off with one that I actually do have on eBay right now. And surprisingly, this was one that I was really looking forward to getting. This is the Millennium Expo. And I will put a link in the description where you can pick this up. Right now I have it on there for about, I think, $149, $179. It's an incredible watch. Well, I call this more of like a skeleton inside a skeleton, almost like a case and cradle skeleton. So when you pop the back or pop the clasp, and this is like, I probably only worn this like once. It's in absolute mint condition. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Shit, there's not even any kind of like real wear in the strap. And as I do, when I do these videos, every time I do a video, I'm like, I review it, and then I'm like, all right, this is for sale. And then I'm like, you know, maybe I don't want to sell this. Maybe I need to put this on bracelet, right? So anyway, black and blue. We'll call this sort of the Batman look with that black and blue. And with that case and cradle style, you have a skeletonized case, right? Just like the face, but then you have the actual case, which has been kind of like inserted in the center of the case. So it's not really a case and cradle, but sort of, you know, it's almost like, just, I don't know, it's just a little bit different. Your actual case of the watch is just a small section in the middle. Again, Stuhrling decorated rotor on the back, exhibition window. Stuhrling uses, I believe, the Cristerna. I think it's Cristerna crystal. Not 100% sure on that. It's, let me just double check here. Damn it, you think I would remember after all this time. Pretty sure it's K1. I always get confused between Stuhrling and Aragon. Let's see if they listed here on the Amazon link. And some of the watches that I have reviewed over the years, that doesn't list it. Some of the watches I have reviewed over the years are still available on Amazon. So if you see something on my list, usually there's a link in the description. You can take it to the Amazon link and see if it's available. So pretty cool watch. You have the Stuhrling logo on the side, which I know some of those haters out there who hate the engraving on the Pro Diver. They pull that right out of the Invicta Hate Handbook. They're going to hate this one as well. This does not have a screw-down crown. It is, of course, a windable movement and an automatic movement. Very cool looking, and just a very sleek, decorative dress watch. And I think the reason I chose this because at the time I didn't really have any black watches, and I wanted something black that was a little bit dressy, but something that wasn't just boring. So with this watch, you know, with kind of the chiseled case and a little bit of blue on there, the blue highlights around the stitching on the band, it's definitely not boring. So pretty cool watch, pretty killer. I'll put these on the wrist in a little bit here. So next one here, this one here is called the, if I remember correctly, the Gemini 2. So this is one of the ones I definitely opted to not get rid of. This is not for sale. The only watch of this lineup that is for sale is the first one I showed you. And what I love about this one is the dual balance wheel. Now, I don't believe these are actually truly functional dual balance wheels. I think it's more for show. When you do hand wind the watch, and it is, again, an automatic watch as well. And I'll take this off the strap, or off the pillow here and show you. Really nice large rotor on the back. I forget how many jewels this has, but I think it's quite a bit. Let me see what they listed on the back. 40 jewels on this movement. So pretty awesome. Very nicely decorated. And you, again, see those dual balance wheels just kind of spinning away or agitating away. What I like about this, and what I really like about a lot of the Invicta watches, Invicta is kind of, I don't know if they're using the same movement. I'm not sure which one they're using. I'm not sure if it's the same movement as this watch, but they're using that dual balance wheel, or that dual balance wheel look. I think it's really decorative. You know, I like the fact that there's a lot going on. You know, when you're wearing this, people see those things kind of ticking away and agitating. They're like, wow, that's really unique. And I love a dual balance wheel system. You know, anytime I see a watch that's really unique when it comes to a skeletonized face, I think it'd be really cool to do something with a triple balance wheel. I've seen a few of the like Jacob & Company watches, super expensive, that actually have 6 balance wheels. So I don't know, you know, I'm not a watch you know, mechanic. I don't really know anything about them for the most part on how the mechanics works, but I do appreciate like how decorative they are, and it's a really stunning watch. Now this watch did not come on this strap. This is genuine shark skin. I forget which company sent this to me, but I've done a review on this as well. Absolutely stunning strap, and I've always said that when I'm going to wear something that's not bracelet, I need something a little more exotic, whether it be snakeskin or, you know, python, stingray, whatever it may be. And I really love the way this looks on this particular watch. I like this strap so much. I wish I had it in different size, but the shark skin, I just don't remember where I got this from, but it is a really cool look on this watch. Now, the only thing about this watch I'll say that I wish they would have done a little bit differently is it has pretty large lugs. I think this is 24mm lugs. And because the watch isn't really large, you have a lot of strap. Like the strap, to me, looks a little bit oversized for the watch. Now, again, that's just a matter of opinion. It's not a big deal, but I wish they would have done maybe a 20mm or 22mm strap. I just think it would have balanced the watch out a little bit more, but nonetheless, still an awesome looking watch. Really cool. Next one here, very similar. This has got this one, I have no idea which one this one is. It's one of some of the Stuhrling watches, they actually have like reference numbers, kind of like, you know, a lot of like Rolex does it, where they'll call it like, this might be the 693.03 Legacy. This has that dual balance wheel. If you see a little bit of a theme here, I've opted to keep the ones that have kind of the really decorative faces. And again, a lot of the Stuhrling watches are skeletonized, but these ones really spoke to me. Now, I did put this on just like a temporary kind of shark mesh, inexpensive AliExpress stainless steel band or strap. I really don't like the way this looks on this particular band. I'll be going back to like a nice brown leather, keeping it real simple and classy, but this would look really nice on a rose tone shark mesh. Now, I did have this Gemini 2 a while back when I was working with Aragon. They sent me to review one of their rose tone mirror polished Aragon shark mesh straps, and I love the Aragon straps. One of the nicest, or bracelet, excuse me, one of the nicest shark mesh bracelets that you can get, in my opinion, for the price, and they make it yellow gold rose tone. I don't know if they still do, it depends on availability, but it looked killer on this, and I absolutely regret not keeping it. But I didn't want to rationalize the price on, it was like 50 bucks for the bracelet, and I was like, man, I can put that towards a new watch. So you know, but I wish I would have. I might get something different down the road, but same thing with this here. Again, you get that rose tone dual balance wheel, you know, really interesting looking watch. I think this one also has the 40 jewels. I believe it's the same movement as in the Gemini 2. So pretty killer watch. And again, of the ones I'm going to show you here, this is one I kind of debate on parting with, but some of these Stuhrlings, you know, they're so beautiful. Although it's not like, you know, your big giant Invictas, which a lot of times I tend to gravitate more towards. So these don't get a lot of wrist time, but they are stunning watches nonetheless. Next one here, let's go with this one. So this is a Stuhrling's answer to the Submariner Homage, and this is one of their Aqua Divers. So this is my most recent Stuhrling watch they sent me. You know, I've worn this one. I've worn the hell out of this one. You know, I have a lot of the Submariner style homage watches in my collection, and I really like when they do dive watches with that orange, and that's kind of what brought me to this watch. I really like the orange and black, and you can see it's like a mirror polished aluminum bezel insert. Some folks like the ceramic, some folks like the brushed aluminum. You know, it depends. Every watch does a little differently. There is kind of a richness that you get with ceramic, but the aluminum is really nice, and you have a really cool mirror polished look to it. Love the orange and black. I mean, anytime I see a dive watch that has that orange, I'm really pulled into it. Like Doxa watches, that always intrigues me. Now the movement on this here, it is an automatic movement. Now I don't know if this is. Let me see which one they use in this one. This one might be. I think this one. So this one uses a Miyota movement. So what Stuhrling does is, I don't think Stuhrling actually makes any movements themselves. They outsource. I don't know what the dual balance wheels are. I'm sure you can look that up and find out. This one here is Miyota, and a lot of their dive watches are going to use the Miyota movement. I think I've seen a few with the NH35, but they tend to use Miyota. Still an amazing movement. Definitely going to have years of reliability with it. And I think this one here, not sure about the jewels on it, but Cristerna, 21 jewels. So I'd say it's comparable like a Seiko NH35. Bezel on it, you know, some folks, you know, they're overly critical. I'll say the bezel on it, it's a little bit, tiny bit sticky in my opinion. It might just be that I got maybe a bad one. It is a little bit difficult to turn, and I don't want to be one of those guys who's like, some dudes on here review the watches that they just don't like, and they're like really fighting with it. I'm a grown man. This is not like, I don't have a hard time turning it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not as smooth as, say, an Aqua Dive or many of the Invictas or many of the other watches I reviewed. I just think this one here maybe it's just a little gummed up. Not really sure. You know, I rarely turn the bezel, but, you know, take it with a grain of salt here. You know, you might get one that has the same thing, and, you know, you might get one that doesn't have that. So, again, I don't really spend a lot of time messing with the bezel. You can turn it, and I think the reason why it feels like it gets a little gummed up is because it's such a thin bezel. You're kind of like trying to grab the bezel. If you just gently kind of bring the force in from the edges and turn, it turns a lot smoother. And I think what's happening is when I squeeze it, I'm kind of pushing down on it, maybe creating a little bit of friction there. But still a pretty cool watch. And I forget the price point on these here. I think they're under $100. There's a lot of options when it comes to homage watches. So I don't think that the Stuhrling Aqua Diver is the most like affordable, the best value option out there, but it's definitely one of the good ones, right? But if you look at things like some of the Pagani designs, you get an incredible value with them. And I'll say that I think the Paganis, even the Pro Divers, are a little bit nicer, but price point's pretty competitive on it. I mean, where are you going to get an automatic watch with a Miyota for under $100? So again, this one really drew me in because of the orange and black. You know, I think if you're going to get this watch in a different variation, you know, and they make many different variations. This watch, I don't know what all the differences are, but they make, you know, different movements, and I think they have like a regatta, you know, a whole bunch of different names. You know, buy the one that really speaks to you. They may, you know, again, they might have quartz versions as well. This one here, when they were asking to, hey, what do you want to review next? I really liked the orange and black, and at the time, I didn't have anything orange and black, so pretty cool. So now, getting to my 3 favorite Stuhrling watches. These are the ones that when they came out with these, I immediately was like, all right, those are the ones I got to get one someday. So I'll show you the first one. This is going to be before I even had a YouTube channel. This was on my radar, and I'm really fortunate that they were nice enough to supply this watch to me and allow me to add it to my collection. It is absolutely stunning. This is one of the Stuhrling legacies, and this is done in the yellow gold, all mirror polished. You have an awesome dual push button deployment clasp here. I love these butterfly, you know, clasp. They're really easy to get the watch on and off. You have kind of a multi-link. How many links you got there? You got like a 6-link bracelet, looks like 7-link bracelet. But keep in mind that each one of these links, I don't believe these are individual like links. I think each link is one piece that has 7 links. But very smooth, very shiny, just a total blinged out watch. I like these because they kind of look like they're a pocket watch that's been attached to a bracelet. So definitely one if you're looking at getting into a Stuhrling. I love this piece. I mean, every time I wear it, somebody's asking about it. It's really a stunning piece. And I will show these on the wrist in just a second. So next one here, these are two of the same watches, but these are their Emperor's Grandeur. These at the time, and probably still now, are the biggest Stuhrling watches that Stuhrling makes, and that's obviously why I was drawn to them. There was the only complaint I had with the Legacy was it wasn't quite as large as the Emperor's Grandeur. You can see it's a little bit smaller. Hopefully you can see it by the video. Actually, by the video it looks the same, but it's subtle. I think it's a difference of maybe 45 to 48. And again, I'll put links in the description where you can. I'll take you guys to my Amazon link page where it'll show these watches if they're available on Amazon, and then if they're not available, I'll try to find them on eBay or something like that. So, or directly through the Stuhrling store. It's probably going to be your best bet with current models for pricing and everything like that. But again, links will be in the description. If it's available, you'll find it. So let's do the rose tone one first. So these are available at the time in this exact model in the rose tone with brown, or like a deep kind of brown strap. They have the yellow, gold, and black, and then they make it all silver, right? Just a mirror polished silver with that black leather strap. It's really a stunning watch. I mean, I don't even know about all the complications on here. You can see it, it is skeletonized. You can see the balance wheel spinning away. Again, beautiful decorated rotor, and this is a dual time, so you actually have at the 6 o'clock position another dial, so it'll give you 2 different time zones. Really cool. And then it has sort of like almost like a moon phase right over here. A lot going on with this watch. Again, same kind of pocket watch style, and what's cool about this too is that you have a deploying clasp with dual push buttons on the side, so this allows you to size the watch, and then you're not going to be wearing out the leather. It just basically clips closed. Very, very nice. And of course, if you want to see it in the yellow, gold, and black, this one here I really like the rose. And I'm not, roses, I have a couple rose gold watches. Obviously I showed you a couple, but it's never one of the ones that I really gravitate to. I really like yellow gold, but in this particular watch, I love it. So let me just go ahead and pop this Invicta off, show you a couple wrist shots. And again, if you guys have any questions whatsoever about any of this stuff, I'm always here to help you guys out. It doesn't hurt to get second opinions. I'm sure a lot of other guys review Stuhrling on YouTube. And a lot of guys, it's just like Invicta. You're going to get people who are hating on different brands. That's just the way it goes with the internet and a lot of the trolls on YouTube. But most of these, remember these watches here. Let me get this watch on my wrist. These watches are all over 5 years old. And, although I don't wear the living hell out of them, they've all got a lot of, that's classy. They've got a lot of wrist time. And I mean, they still work fine. No issues whatsoever. The only issue I will tell you that I've had with any of these Stuhrling watches, unfortunately, is on, I think it's on this watch here. Yeah. And this is kind of, a little bit embarrassing for the Stuhrling company, but things do happen. On the inside of the watch here where the Stuhrling is, the G has actually fallen off. So it says Stuhrling. So, yeah, and you probably can't even see it. But of all the other watches I have, I've never had that happen with any of the other Stuhrling watches. And, things can happen with any kind of brand watch. So just kind of keep that in mind. I didn't even notice it for the longest time until I was actually looking at it and I saw, why is that crooked? And then it just kind of popped off. So most likely, the logos, the Stuhrling, the original Automatic are all glued on, and you can have defective products with anything, but you don't really notice it. And I know that it's easy for me to accept it because I got it for free. But I understand if I spent my hard-earned money, it would kind of bug me a little bit. But it's so subtle that it's not even noticeable. I mean, you can't even really see it. So, and nobody's ever gonna notice it, for God's sake. So, but really cool looking watch. Let me show you guys the Legacy. Legacy's pretty sweet too. This one here is just really kind of, it's really a toss-up between these three for which one I like more. Oh, man, that bracelet's beautiful. Generally I wear these when I want something that's just kind of like a little bit smaller. Again, you guys know I love the big, huge watches, absolutely, but I still wear the small ones from time to time. It just really depends on my mood. And not necessarily even like what I'm wearing. It's not like I'm getting dressed up and putting on a suit or doing anything like that. It just really depends on my mood. And all these watches you can wear. I'm a t-shirt and jean guy, so it does. Man, that's classy looking. Gorgeous. You can wear them with anything. But I will tell you that if I was kind of going to, like, I don't know, something a little more formal, I probably would wear something like this as opposed to, you know, the big giant, you know, Sub-Aqua Noma 5. But, you know, it's not that I wouldn't wear it. It just depends, you know. It's just anytime I'm doing something or getting dressed up, I kind of always accessorize my watch with my outfit. So it just depends on my mood. You know, the cool thing about having a big collection is you can, you know, some knuckleheads will be like, oh, it's about quality over quantity. These are all nice quality watches. And although, you know, when you look at a Stuhrling watch, you know, when you feel the weight of them, I don't know if you can really compare them completely, like with a lot of the Invicta watches. You know, like when you pick up a, you know, a Noma 5, this watch is very heavy. It feels really substantial. I think there is a quality difference between these two, but they're different watches. And I think that can be said with if you pick up any watch that's made of, you know, more steel. The only thing with the Stuhrlings is I don't believe that these are stainless steel cases. So anything that's plated with them, the homages, this is stainless steel, not 316, but some of the other ones, the plated ones, I don't believe they're 316 stainless steel. They're probably some kind of alloy that's been plated. You know, whereas the Invictas, you're getting a 316 that's been plated. So I just think overall it's a better quality watch, but it just depends. This is kind of the quality level you get with Stuhrling. And I'm not saying that they're poor or anything like that, but I just think you get a little bit better value with Invicta and Aragon. But if you're looking at dress watches, you know, when you're looking at the Invictas, you probably, if you're looking at something similar, you probably go with like their Object d'Art, I think they're called. And, you know, those watches are on par. So and I think Invicta even makes something very similar to this watch here. It might even be, who knows who actually makes it, you know. Sometimes, you know, a lot of these things come out of the same factory with certain brands, you know. So Invicta's not stupid. If they know that there's obviously a market for Stuhrling watches, they're going to make their own line. And that's what I've noticed, the Object d'Art kind of like follows the Stuhrling designs quite a bit. And I'm not sure about all of them, but I know Invicta does make something extremely similar to this. So you can check that out as well. But nonetheless, I mean, the Emperor's Grandeur, just an incredible watch. And let me just, while I got you guys here, let me just take a look and see if they also have tourbillons too. So if you guys are in the market, I can't rationalize the tourbillon price, so it's not something I would ever really buy. But looks like they're having a little St. Patty's sale, and I haven't been to their site in a while. So let me just see what they might have gotten some new stuff in. More homages. They have some. Definitely have some. They have one Meridian Quartz, like a Rolex homage GMT. Looks like. They have a, they call it the Anatol, and I hate these pop-ups that pop up. I don't want to sign up for your list. So it looks like the Emperor's Grandeur, they're now calling this the Modena. It's on sale too, regular $345. Man, it gets 5-star reviews, 68 reviews, 5 stars. People obviously like it. The Depth Master's pretty cool. They have some aviators, couple GMT automatics. What else they got here? Anything really new? A couple pocket watches. No, and there's the Emperor's. This is a great price, guys. Emperor's Grandeur. They still make this watch. $165. That's pretty darn good. I'll have to put this video up like ASAP. Yeah, you still get it in the silver, the gold, or the rose. So that's an incredible price. I've never seen these watches under about the $250 mark. So definitely pick them up while you can. What else they got here? Another Emperor's Grandeur. 2 different Emperor's Grandeur. Is that right? Or did I just scroll? No, I'm sorry. Emperor's Grandeur, 3 different color options. I'll tell you that there's not... Before I speak, there's 11 pages. I was like, there's not as many watches here, but there are. Another one here, Emperor's Grand DT. Here's another Emperor's Grandeur. This one they call the Grand Dual Time. Not the Grandeur, excuse me. That one's very similar. So you have a lot of different options here. I'm not going to go through all these. I'll have to go through them later, see what else I can get. One more page. Oh, that's, yeah, so they still have the Legacy I showed you, the gold one on bracelet. They have one that's called the Stuhrling Modena. And that's really similar, 46 millimeter. That's pretty. They've changed the case a little bit where they've kind of like blocked off the top at the 12 o'clock position. Very, very similar. Looks like they've kind of made the band just slightly different, kind of a little bit of a taper. Man, I'm glad they still make that because it's a really, obviously it's a popular watch. And right now, $225 if you want to get that. So that's directly through Stuhrling. So I don't know, guys, check it out. I wanted to share these watches with you. I think they're really cool. If I didn't throw something on the wrist or you missed something, you know, just let me know if you see something else. Let me just throw one more on the wrist here so you guys can, because you guys have seen so many, you know, homage watches, Submariner homage watches. I mean, you know what they look like on the wrist. So here's that which one was this one? The dual balance wheel, the Gemini. I think it's a Gemini 2. Just, I mean, on that shark mesh, it's really stunning. The shark mesh is so comfortable, even though it's not a Stuhrling bracelet or Stuhrling band. You know, you can find whatever you want with for these. Snake skin, whatever. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching the video. 25 minutes went by really quick. I'm sorry. I try to get these done quicker, but it just never happens. Again, if you guys do have any questions whatsoever, let me know. If you need pictures, anything like that. A lot of times I don't do too many close-ups of these watches because you can go to the Stuhrling website and see what they look like close-up. So I wanted to show what they look like on the wrist. Missed out on a couple of them, but we got to cut this off. 25 minutes is a long time. Again, if I can help you, let me know. Drop me a question, drop me a comment. I'm always here to help. If you do like the content, subscribe. And of course, check the Stuhrling playlist for in-depth reviews of each one of these watches. They're a little bit older videos, but you'll get the idea. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day and take care.